Acts chapter 7. Yes. Are these things so? Yes. Now there was this individual named Stephen, full of faith and power, did great wonders and miracles among the people. Then there arose certain of the synagogue, which is called the synagogue of the Libertines, the Cyrenes, and the Alexandrians. Yes. And of Cilicia and of Asia, disputing with Stephen. And they were not able to resist the wisdom and the spirit by which he spake. Then they suborned men, which said, We have heard him speak blasphemous words against Moses and against God. And they stirred up the people and the elders and the scribes, and came upon him and caught him and brought him to the council, and set up false witnesses, which said, This man ceaseth not to speak blasphemous words against this holy place and the law. For we have heard him say that this Jesus of Nazareth shall destroy this place, and shall change the customs which Moses delivered us. And all that sat in the council, looking steadfastly on him, saw his face as it had been the face of an angel. Now this Stephen, yes, he was very full of God, and they just didn't want to listen to what he had to say. And he goes through these covenants, yes, and patriarchs moved with envy, sold Joseph into Egypt, but God was with him. Now came a dearth over all the land of Egypt, Canaan, great affliction, verse 11, chapter 7. And then Joseph, so Jacob went down to and then, for he supposed brethren would have understood how that God by his hand would deliver them, verse 25. And then verse 30, and when 40 years was expired, three appeared to him in the wilderness of Mount Sinai, an angel of the Lord in a flame of the fire in a bush. Yes. And then verse 35, this Moses whom they refused, saying, Who made thee a ruler over and a judge? Now, as a judge, yes, because I've done that in the past, yes. And then verse 41, they made a calf in those days and offered sacrifices, and they fucked each other while worshiping the calf. Poot! Then 42, then God turned and gave them up to the worship of the host of heaven. 43, yea. You took up the tabernacle of Moloch, and the star of your god Remphan. Now, verse 47, but Solomon built him an house. Yes. Verse 50, hath not my hand made all these things? Yeah. Then there was verse 51, ye stiff-necked and uncircumcised in heart and ears, you do always resist the Holy Ghost as your fathers did, so do ye. Which of the prophets have not your fathers persecuted? Yeah. And they have slain them which showed before of the coming of the just one, of whom ye have been now the betrayers and murderers. Verse 53, who have received the law by the disposition of angels and have not kept it. When they heard these things, they were cut to the heart, and they gnashed on him with their teeth. But he, being full of the Holy Ghost, looked up steadfastly into heaven, saw the glory of God, and Jesus standing on the right hand. Now, maybe you don't like the judgment, but I am actually going to sue every judge of the United States. Every justice of all Supreme Courts, yes, because they think, yes, that if they violate the limited jurisdiction, they will keep themselves from going to prison. But I see a certain amount of judgment taking place. Let's say I'm the judge. I'm the judge of every court in the United States. And every fucking one of you right now refuses to enforce the Constitution and the original Bill of Rights. Yes. See, your whole thought was, well, we don't have to do anything. My thought is, I'm going to judge this fucking nation right now. Now, I'm going to want to sign those lawsuits, okay? I'm going to want my sons, yes. And then I'm going to want